Hello everyone, it's Charlton. I want to make a follow-up video. I just uploaded a video about Botham Jean. The shooting of Botham Jean in his apartment, his own apartment at Southside Flats in Dallas. A little over a week ago, 10 p.m. Thursday night, by the off-duty police officer who said she mistaken his apartment for her own. She lives directly beneath him. I actually now have a working theory. I actually have a theory. And, I mean, that's the problem with everything else up to this point is nothing else made sense to me, or somebody else wasn't presenting anything that made sense to me. That doesn't mean I was right, and I'm not right necessarily this time, but I actually have a working theory. I do. And Amy Ashley, you sent along a link to this, which I saw this and I discussed this a little bit in my previous video, but it wasn't clear to me now after seeing the interview of his attorney on CNN. Actually, I think his name's Lee Merritt. Okay, he seems like a reasonable fellow. He does, and he seems pretty smart and sharp. Uh, um, so, anyways, it was, and here he talks about the noise complaint. That I think there was multiple noise complaints by somebody beneath Botham. I think it's her. I think it's actually the officer Amber Guyger, and he says there was one actually even that day. And I guess, and he says there's a call to Botham from her. And he doesn't say to property management and then from property management to Botham. He says from the person beneath him to Botham. I guess she has Botham's phone number. I don't know if that's in his cell phone or what. But it's based on that and this other story here about them finding marijuana in Botham's apartment from a search warrant. And the family's upset, and his attorneys are upset that they released this information the same day he was put to rest, yesterday. Very same day. Not happy about it. But actually, for me, this is part of my working theory, definitely. And I have an idea of what might have happened. And I think this was I think if it's just my theory, it's just speculation. I have no idea. It's just my own opinion. So these are not facts or anything like that. But my theory goes like this: that there's multiple noise complaints, and even that same day. So she calls him during the day while she's at work to complain about the noise, either leaving him a message or to call and speak to him directly. Probably to leave a message. I don't know. Or she just calls. I don't know. We don't know. So she decides to stop there on the way home before she goes home. And she actually, that's part of her plan, is to just speak to him to keep the noise down. I'm going to do some assuming here. And I could be affected by groupthink. Okay, this could be me being pushed in this direction because of everybody seems to be thinking this way. But I needed something that made sense, and this actually makes sense to me. Okay? So maybe she's kind of like, a go-getter, kind of real assertive cop who, very direct, thinks they go up and tell somebody when they got a problem with something, like a noise complaint. So she's going to stop there on the way home before she goes to her own apartment. So she goes up, she parks on the 4th floor, goes to his apartment, intending to talk to him about the complaint and tell him to keep the noise down, because she's working a lot of hours. She gets up early, but when she gets there, she smells weed, because he's in there smoking some weed. And believe me, I have no problem with some dude, 26-year-old, smoking weed. I promise you, that's not an issue for me. None. When I was 26, I was doing that. So, and that's where it starts. And she, because of that, and maybe she's a go-getter, and she's this kind of cop that thinks if she smells weed, I'm gonna bust this guy, even though it's just, he's just in his own home, minding his own business. And she starts pounding on the door saying, let me in, let me in. And I mean, basically what this might have been was an accidental discharge. It has nothing to do with the wrong apartment. It was she and when he was in there smoking the weed, maybe this is all just my opinion. He hears her pounding, turns off all the lights. He doesn't want her to deal with her. I don't know, and I guess he eventually just lets her in, and he backs up, and the lights are off, and he's backing up into the apartment. She's got her gun out like something ridiculous over weed, maybe, because she's just this hard charging, kind of cop that, like, anything, that gun comes out. I know that's not really fair sometimes, but I'm just at least this can sort of make sense to me. And it was just an accidental discharge. And and then some silence. She's got to come up with something quick, calls 911, and then that's what she comes up with, that she went to the wrong apartment. That's my story right there. That's my working theory. That's it, dude. That's my working theory. These are the places that Kane brought that together. And that the door ajar, the reason that's in the affidavit is because that's the only way she could have got in, is two ways. It either is he let her in or the door was ajar. And if he let her in, she couldn't have thought it was a burglar. Yeah, man. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't know these things. It's just my thoughts. But that's why it had to be ajar. Because if he let her in, there's no way she could have thought it was a burglar. No way. And I think this might have been an accidental discharge. And that's why he said, oh my God, what did you do? After he let her in, he backs up into the apartment. She's got her gun out. She's looking around, whatever, and it's pointed in his direction, and it just goes off. And then he says, oh my God, what did you do? But I tell you, my previous video, I'm not wrong about that. The lock report's going to tell that. It is. It's going to tell that somebody unlocked that door to open it, and that it wasn't ajar. And that's just, if my theory's right, that's going to show. It is. That's it. That's my working theory. Thanks for watching my videos. I'll probably upload this tomorrow. It's 3 in the morning. I just uploaded one. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.